Good evening, folks, and it is Sunday night, April 22nd, and it is the beginning of the last week of our course. And I really and sincerely mean this when I say I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. I think I do enjoy this course very much. I enjoy teaching it and enjoy what it brings to light for a lot of people and how we look at sport a little differently, and it's always fun to do it at this time of year when there is so much going on and so many things that we look at. And last week we began to move into college sports, although we've been kind of skirting around the issue for most of the term because many of you talked about it in that first week's assignment when I asked you to come up with the three big issues that you wanted to discuss. And by the way, I do hope we've been able to touch on most of the things that people have asked for. The world of sport and sport business is just so full of things. I always got down to this last week saying, oh my heavens, I probably missed so much that I wanted to talk about, could have talked about, could have presented, and just didn't get to. There's a lot out there, and it shows you the breadth and depth of the world that we all want to pursue. So it's a very interesting time. And this week we looked back at Title IX, which is, I'm sure you've seen it in so many different sport management classes and in various forms, but I really wanted to touch on it one last time because of the impact that it's had, not just on college sports, but on sports as a whole, and how the whole issues of equity and gender equity and participation and how things have filtered down out of that one act back in the 70s has been a tremendous impact on how we look at a lot of things in the athletic business. And this week I thought what we would do is just continue something that I sort of invited everybody to do last week, is kind of have at it with college sports. And let's do that again. And I have that one question out there for discussion, which is paying college athletes, particularly D1. And I'm very sensitive. I have very strong opinions about this, and I'm not going to try to prejudice the argument with what I think. I'm really interested in what you think and how you come to those conclusions. I'll tell you, when I look at the hours that go into college sport as a coach, as a Division II coach in tennis, which is a sport that doesn't get a lot of attention in this country, and except for the major events. When I look at the hours that we put in, this week was a conference tournament, and we bowed out in the semifinals, but it was one tremendous match in a very balanced tournament to where really any one of the final four teams could have won. And when I look at the hours that went into this season, the hours that go into preparation, and that, right away got back to my house after the match on Saturday, and the first thing I noticed was in my email was not anything from my regular job, it was recruiting emails. This is the kind of effort that goes into college sports. The number of hours that the coaches and athletes put in is just really amazing. If you haven't been involved in it yourself, I think you would be shocked. And if you look at it at that Division I level of a major sport, a revenue producing sport, how intense is it and what goes on? One of my daughters actually was on the rowing team at Syracuse, which is a nationally ranked team and powerhouse at the time when she was there. And just look at the time and effort she put in at the Division I level. I played Division I college soccer, I think back even 45 years ago when I was playing. It was something. It was quite a bit of time and effort. And now the economics of it have changed and shifted. So I think this week's discussion question is going to be very interesting, a very interesting way to close it out. What do you think? And bring up any other issues about college sports that you want to. The other thing, of course, is that final assignment. I didn't really see any questions from anybody when we kind of introduced it last week, but what I'm really looking for is for you to come up with a report that summarizes what you think you've gained and what your perspectives are on the economics of sport in that how do I make this one chosen entity, a league, a governing body or something, how do I make that viable and strong over a good significant coming period? And I'm suggesting 10 years or so. But what would you do to recommend that that league, whatever, becomes or maintains its presence as a strong economic body? Because in order to entertain people and in order to provide the avenues for sport and all the good things sports does, we've got to be there. And whether you're a not-for-profit like college sports or for-profit like professional sports, you've got to make money, you've got to survive, you've got to be economically viable and economically successful in order to produce your product and bring it to people. So that's the assignment. I personally just want to thank everybody for your efforts to this mod. It's everyone's a little different. This one, the discussions were really great, really excellent. I was really did look forward to reading a lot of your opinions and and especially seeing the way you kind of challenged each other to do a lot of things and to answer a lot of questions back and forth. And it was all done in a really good, professional, and respectful manner. And that's so important, especially when we see what's going on around us all the time. Be able to have a discussion and a disagreement in a respectful and informative way so that everybody learns from it. That's accomplishing something. So I am very pleased with what I saw and what we went through. And I will continue to do this course. I'm in the process of retiring from full-time teaching. Right now, at the end of the semester, I'll be leaving my job as the department chair for business administration post, but I'm still going to stay on as a part-time faculty member and of course as a coach. And one of the courses I'm going to hang on to is SMG 401 Sport Economics, and I'm looking forward to continuing with this, to doing it, to changing it every time it comes around, because that's the nature of sport economics, the sport world. Thanks for everything you've done, and as always, in the last week here, if there are any questions, please contact me. Okay, thank you very much.